Well, I'm just going to have a look at a few Forex charts of interest. Things got real interesting on Friday as the trade war continued to heat up, and we had Jackson Hole on the same Jackson Hole symposium. Powell was speaking on Friday, so it sort of culminated in, I'm quite sure, China did that on purpose, releasing that tariff information ahead of the open on Friday when we had Jackson Hole as well, just to get maximum impact from their actions. So we had the US dollar got quite a beating here on the US dollar index here, we can see. So, and it went right into my hands because, as I was saying on the study about Euro US, I said, watch this. If this does break to the downside, I said it's most likely going to be a false breakout. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So this is about knowing when not to be in a trade as well. So as I say, a lot of people are going to try and get short here, like they did, and they would have got stampeded on here. So it just shows you how, like, these charts are very accurate. The way I try to explain it might be a bit confusing, but if you can get your head around it, it's really worth. I've got such a high success rate with these sort of setups that when I say that if it most likely breaks down, it'll likely be a false breakout because that key Jensen stayed flat. It happens. I wouldn't like to say it happens every single time, but it's such a high success rate that you have to take notice of it. So we're not about predicting the future, we're about looking at high probability with trading. So obviously you can only trade this on my intraday template, but so that was just an example that I was looking at. And US dollar Jappy, look at this strong resistance here, how it bounced off this strong resistance here, and in spite of the strong key Jensen here, it didn't get a breakout here. So that's why you've got to look at these resistance levels very carefully and understand what's going on with price. So now it's rejected back down towards the support here now. So the key Jensen stayed dead flat though. So once again, if you get a breakout below this level, you're not necessarily going to short that because the key Jensen is staying flat in this case. So this is the sort of things that I look at and take into consideration with my trading. So obviously you can be short this on the intraday template, right, because it rejected off a strong resistance here. So you had a target back down here, so that's acceptable to trade that short on the intraday. Pound US here is that was already had momentum to the upside anyway, and it was given a boost by the drop in the dollar. So you can see that both of these were in agreement. The daily was crossed up here, and you had the momentum was up on the 4-hour here. So you're only looking for longs at that point. Any pullbacks should be traded as a chance to take a long entry, not as a short. So pull back to support, you get a long entry off that, long entry off the support here on the 100 MA, right? Pull back again to support, right? You get another long entry on that. So rather than looking for a short on this, as I've had a lot of people do, looking for short, I think this is overextended, I'll try and short this. Well, you actually should be looking for a pullback to a support level somewhere, maybe back to here, right? A support level, and then you get another go at it on the long side, because this is a counter trend at the moment, right? Because it's still below the key Jensen, and And so the momentum's ultimately still to the downside on the daily, but you've got a retracement, so you've got a bullish retracement, and that's the momentum on the short term. What we're trading on the short term is the momentum, so we don't want to be going against the momentum, even though you're below the Kumo. So ultimately you'd be looking for this to come back up, and then you'd be looking, when this turns over, the momentum turns over on the daily, then you'd be looking for a reversal, a continuation of the pound US to the downside again. But you can't anticipate that. You can't be going against momentum at the moment. So it's one of the hardest things I've tried to get through to people, and I really don't know a good way to explain it. I think it's one of those things you just got to get to. You've got to get the feel for it when you. This is Euro Pound that I was talking about with the cup and handle pattern. I said this was the target for the retracement. Look where at the top of the cup here. This is the cup, as I was saying in the video. This is the cup right here. This is the handle. You had the breakout, and then you had the pullback. You had the pullback to exactly to my target, right? Not to say that it's going to stop there, but it's hit my target bang on, right on the dot there. Look at that, how accurate that was. So, I was saying this when price was right up here. I said my target's down to the top of this cup here now. Now that's not, people say, oh, you with charts you're just looking at what's already happened and you're making it up once it's already happened. I said, no, I don't. This is people I used to be on when I used to post on social media. Oh, this is just looking at tea leaves, and they wouldn't know when they'd just make these comments. I say, well, where's your trading method? How come you're not posting any charts or anything yourself on your own channel? Oh, never get a reply to that one, do I? But anyway, that's just the stupid people that you attract on social media. That's why I don't bother posting on Twitter anymore, because they're just too many morons, and it's too frustrating to deal with these sort of people. And, I said on Twitter, I said, I'm really surprised that nobody's interested in this and finding out more about it. And somebody wrote back, oh, nobody asked you to explain it to us anyway. So what are you getting frustrated about? That's when I just said, that's it. I'm done with social media now. So now this one is New Zealand US. So this is another classic example. You've got a breakdown here, and then rather than trying to short this, you're looking for a reversion back up to the Keynesian here, but it's too early yet. So you've got an alert set on this. Resistance here, and when that alert goes off, I may trade it. I may not trade it. But I can have that on my watch list. Pound Oz. This is an interesting one because Pound Oz is broken out here above the Kumo here, but the Keynesian stayed flat. So yes, you can trade this on the intraday. But you've got to be mindful that this could be a pullback. So you want to just continue to monitor this on the intraday, because price is almost certainly going to want to come back to sometimes the Keynesian will turn up if the momentum's strong enough. As we can see here, we've got plenty of momentum from back here, but so this is going to be an interesting one to see what Pound Oz does, and Oz Dollar NZ turned over there, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. See that how the flat Keynesian here, it's broken, even though it's broken above the Kumo here. See how it's turned off here now, so we can start to see. I had an alert on here, let me know when this turns over and breaks that, just like I was doing with the Euro Pound. I had a just a horizontal line here with a alert on it. I said, let me know when this breaks that breaks that, and I can take this to the downside then. So I can take this to the downside on the intraday template. The target back down to here. Not to say that it's going to get to my target here, but that's where my target is. So just a quick few examples, and I don't know what else to say about trading. It's such an interesting thing if you can just get past the learning phase of it. The problem is the learning phase is going to be different for every single person. So all I can do is point out things that I look at myself. Maybe you can sort of include that into your trading method as you develop or something like that. That's the main idea of this. So let's look at the US dollar here, pulled back sharply, and the euro's up off this base here. It's quite a strong base on the euro. Yen got bid off that strong support there. Pound's up. Australian dollar didn't do much. Swissy was up quite a bit, and CAD didn't do much, and New Zealand didn't do much. So that's about it. And bonds got bid up again. Bonds were pulling back off this. Now they've sort of rallied again a bit, and it's hard to say how much is going to be in this US dollar move. We have to just see, but so it's going to be a bit of an interesting week ahead, to say the least. All right, that's it. Bye for now.